I am a father of two boys. The second son is living a great life independently, married with a child. Child just had her first birthday. Our firstborn, Stephen, has a special developmental disability that is a genetic disorder. It's called Sanfilippo syndrome. There's a longer name for it, but that's just the nice way that it was described about 60 years ago. And it was discovered by a guy named Sanfilippo. And it is a disability in which the body can't produce a particular enzyme that will break down the glucose in the mitochondria. And in other words, he's outputting a lot of waste into his brain that's slowly causing his brain functions to decline. It was cognitively and then physically. And it's always been a struggle in those areas, especially lately. But it was a struggle not knowing what was really going on with him. In the 80s and 90s, there was a urine test that would have shown that propensity for that, and they could have really explored some more at that point if they had done that. It was never on any doctor's radar. And we have seen some really good doctors, but I think they may have just looked at his behavior and decided this is what he has, autism of some kind, some sort of pervasive development disorder, but not otherwise specified, not really sure what it is. But I wish that maybe they had thought outside the box a little bit more and been able to discover of this very rare genetic disorder that he inherited from both myself and my wife. We both were carriers of it and didn't know it. We didn't know anybody else in the family. It's just very, very rare for him to, for two people with this recessive gene, have a child who gets both recessive genes and expresses this particular pathology. But that's the case for him. We always thought that if we ever found out what was going on with him, we'll call it Stephen syndrome, after his name. But actually, this has been going on. But he's in a good place. He is living at the Kansas Neurological Institute in Topeka, Kansas, and he's getting good care. It's a place where he's getting the care he needs, and we are providing support to the staff, to the doctors who watch over him, and we go to group meetings, care plan meetings, and just struggle to find what we can do to make his life better. He's declined physically just in the last few years. We tried a couple of different facilities. Some of them were good places, but they just weren't the right fit for him. And it's paid for through Medicaid. So he had to qualify for Medicaid. He had to limit his amount of assets, in order to qualify, which we've done. And he's getting around-the-clock care and living in community with others. Well, in many ways, I see his direct service providers as part of his current family. I treat them, especially those who are there and struggled through COVID, to keep that job going for them. Some of them are still there. They've had a lot of turnover in many places. But for those few that I know for a long time, I know those are his family. Those are the people he wakes up and looks at every day. He eats meals with, who serve him and care for him, get him from place to place. And so I treat them as if they're part of his current family. Is that including us? And it's the people you spend your life with. And that's what he's doing right now. Whether he can articulate that, because he's really nonverbal, or not, I think it's important to work with him and relate to them in that way.